All right, look here, y'all. This is episode 2. And I thought since I kind of talked y'all through my life as a child and how bad I was and just a terrible person, thought I was a thug and all this, that, and the other, got arrested at the age of 17 for DUI, that kind of thing. And we're leading up to me working for the fire department and being a first responder, that sort of thing. I figured I'd go on and lighten the load a little bit and let's talk about my first experience that I can remember as a firefighter, as a first responder. And so when I got hired on at the fire department, it took me 4 tries. I got on with the police department first, and that obviously didn't pan out because of my DUI on my record and that sort of thing. So I started applying at the fire department. And back then we done what was called the CPAT for a physical test. And I smoked it. I mean, I was still in the Marine Corps at the time. I still had like a year left in the Marine Corps. And so I absolutely smoked the CPAT every single time I took it. And I took it 4 times. And they took applications every 6 months, no matter what. So every 6 months, I was taking the application, doing my CPAT, doing what I was supposed to do. And come to find out, like I was a black sheep of the fire department because none of my family was fire. My dad wasn't fire. No granddads were fire. No fire department in my whole family. I was going to be the first to be fire department. And so they were looking for, I didn't know this at the time, but politics or whatever, they were looking for somebody who had at least some knowledge of fire department. So it was a little bit harder for me to get on. And anyways, my 4th interview, I noticed that in the interview board, there was a different group of people in there, some different people. Normally it was the 3 battalion chiefs, the chief himself, and maybe the deputy chief, something like that. And this time we had our HR guy in there from City Hall. So I was like, oh, this is a little different. So anyways, got done with the interview. Mind you, it was my 4th time. So we're rocking on 2 years worth of applications, trying to get hired. And I wasn't going to give up, And finally the chief looked at me. I'll never forget this. Chief at the time looked at me and he said, son, how many times are you going to apply? And I got real close to his face like this. I said, until you hire me. And you could see the HR guys, his eyes kind of lit up like, what's going on here? What's happening? And so anyways, later on that day, I found out that the HR guy had asked the chief at the time, like, why ain't we hiring this guy? He's done applied 4 times. He's killing the CPAT. Like, why are we not hiring this guy? And he didn't really have an answer for it, except for that I didn't have any previous fire experience, no family in the fire service, nothing like that. I was kind of a black sheep, if you want to call it that, of the fire service. So he gave me the job. Finally got the job, right? So I was on 8-hour days for a little while. That's what they do before you're certified. Before you go down to basic academy, they usually put you on an 8-hour day just so you can learn the ropes, but you don't stay the night. You can't really fight fire, but they can teach you during those 8-hour days. They can teach you the basics so that when you do go to basic academy, you have some knowledge of what's going on. So I got real good at following the hose lines. They would get me started a coupling and fill the coupling with my gloves on and figure out which way is out, that kind of thing. Done that. A lot of no vis, low vis type situations. Just mainly 99% of what I did before I went to the academy was crawling around. Getting used to crawling around and zero vis, that kind of thing. I was real good at that. By the time I only done that for 2 weeks, 8-hour days, 2 weeks, but we done it every single day for nearly 8 hours. Okay. So I was real proficient at that. So fast forward, I get down to the academy, get down there and you're bunking with 2 or 3 other guys. You got 2 sets of bunk beds in the little dorm rooms there, usually about a 10 by 10, 12 by 12 room, 2 sets of bunk beds in there. So you're bunking with a couple other people. I was one of the lucky few that only had 1 roommate. All right. So we go down there Sunday night, we check in, we're kind of getting unpacked, meeting our roommates and that sort of thing, and just kind of hanging out and feeling the vibe of the academy. My first time ever stepped foot on Mississippi State Fire Academy soil. And so Monday morning we're supposed to be in the classroom by 7 o'clock, if I remember correctly, maybe 8 o'clock, something like that. I don't know. We go eat breakfast in Chow Hall, blah, 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 go to the classroom. Well, all morning long, the instructors kept saying, hey, y'all don't forget, we got dressing drills in the morning, 45 seconds. Y'all got to get them. We got dressing drills in the morning, 45 seconds, man. And they'd give a little lesson. We had our ropes around our waist, with the square knots and all. And we had our little pass device and all that stuff. And we got our little welcome package with our books and all this information, tons and tons of information the first morning, right? But they kept saying, and it stuck with me. They kept saying, we're doing dressing drills in the morning. You got to get it within 45 seconds. You got to get it within 45 seconds. Oh, yeah. See, I had no idea what a dressing drill was. Like when I say no idea, like zero. Like I had never heard that term, had never heard of it, didn't know what it was. I was brand new in the fire service. Like I'm a nobody out the streets with zero fire experience. I had no clue what a dressing drill was. So that night, 8 o'clock at night, something like that, me and my roommate sitting there chilling in the room, and we're talking about where we're from, introducing ourselves, and do you got kids, you got family, whatever. I said, hey man, quick question, right quick. Oh, the instructor kept talking about a dressing drill. What exactly is a dressing drill? And he he kind of chuckled. He's like, man, you can't be serious. Like that is the basic of the basic of the basic. And I said, yeah, I don't have any idea. Like, what is that about? I don't understand. Are we supposed to have a certain uniform here, or but what? Zero clue. And he said, man, you're serious, aren't you? I said, absolutely, I'm serious. And he said, get your turnouts or bunker gear, get your turnouts and go out into the parking lot right now. We're talking 9:30 at night, and we're about to do these the next morning at 7, and you got to get them in 45 seconds. I ain't never even done one. I ain't have a clue what it was. Well, this man took the time at 9 o'clock at night, told me how to set my gear out and everything so that I could do an expedient dressing drill, turn the bottle on, mask up, the whole nine. I did it at least 15, 20 times that night, and just pouring sweat and all that stuff. It was hot sometime, whatever. And man, I'm dying, okay? And finally, I get it within 45 seconds. Then I do it again, get it like 43 seconds. And I do it again and get like 40 seconds. And he's like, man, that's 3 times in a row. If you can do that right there in the morning, you got it licked. Like, don't worry about it. And I'm like, all right. So my mentality was, I'm in the Marine Corps, man. I'm used to unknown situations, and I was used to the stress and all that stuff. And I was like, man, y'all throw whatever y'all want to at me, because I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to get it. Okay. That's what kind of attitude I had, mentality. And so I next morning get up and dressing drills, and I'm like, man, I'm ready. The old homeboy just showed me what to do and everything. Got the fastest time of my whole life. We had to stand in a line and everything. It was like the whole class was in, well, really 2 lines. We was facing each other. I got the fastest time. Of course, they made us strip down, do it. We had to do it 2 or 3 times in a row and hit it 45 seconds each time. And I boom, 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 all 3 times got the fastest time, cuz. That's right. So anyway, long story short to all that was, my first experience with the fire service was I felt almost set up somewhat, not ready to be in the academy like I was. But at the same time, I had that Marine Corps mentality, like, you ain't going to break me. I can do anything you ask of me, and I can do it better than anybody else right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how the Marine Corps trains us to think and everything. So I went down there. I was captain of my class, graduated captain of my class, never got debunked or anything. Really, really excelled in basic. And that was where my love for the fire department grew. I was like, man, this is what it's about. This is what the brotherhood's about. This is what a family, brotherhood, fire department, all that, a team effort kind of deal, which reminded me of the Marine Corps, being in a team, and I absolutely loved it. And here I am 16 years later, still loving it, probably even more now, because I got so much more knowledge of what the fire department is about and what they're looking for and that sort of thing. And so it really, really, like, but that moment of that guy, my roommate, taking the time out of his day or his night, really losing sleep and everything to teach me to make sure I was going to pass, that showed me how well I was going to really love the brotherhood of the fire department. And that there is my first recollection of an experience of being a fireman, going down to the academy, learning new stuff, learning how to crawl, learning how to drag victims, learning how to fight fire the correct way, that sort of thing. And it was amazing, and I absolutely loved it, and I still love it to this day. Y'all, that's it for this podcast. Again, if you enjoy the podcast, you want to hear more, we're going to get more in depth on firefighting. I'm going to eventually have some guests on here, and we're going to rock this thing out. Y'all just keep following me, keep sharing, keep liking, and hey, we're going to roll together. You know what I'm saying? It's my first podcast ever. Really have no idea what I'm doing, but we doing it. Y'all have a good one. Love y'all.